G'day guys, ZiggyD here and welcome back for part 24 of the Path of Exile Survival Guide. In this episode, I'm pretty keen to get stuck into doing some Lunaris and Piety runs. I'm thinking we're going to do some Piety farming before moving forwards and killing Dominus. The Dominus fight to get from Cruel to Merciless is pretty tough. Our gear overall is doing okay. I'm looking for some glove upgrades. A better belt would be nice, a better, I've got a few, most of my jewelry could be upgraded. This could certainly be upgraded, my boots could certainly be upgraded. Helmet's okay-ish. Bow's still pretty nice and will probably be good for a while. But we've got a few upgrades to get. And farming Piety, she drops a ton of loot in Cruel and Merciless difficulties. So we're probably going to join a party to do this a bit. But first we have to go get Victaro's bust. We've got one final bust to get here. Victaro's, find the last platinum bust. So the best way to do that, I think, is just going to be to go backwards from Battlefront to this zone here and then head down into the sewers there. First though, I want to let's gamble on a 2-stone ring here. Let's see if I can chance a rare or something good. Oh, we got a rare. Mana regen, rarity, lightning resist, accuracy. Yeah, that's not so good. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. I think that's just going to be a straight up sell there. Yeah, I don't think anyone would use that. I don't think that's any good. Oh well, there we go. There's some alteration shards. So, we'll take this waypoint back from, we should just be able to go straight back from Battlefront and go pretty much head south to the southeast. Should be the exit for this zone. Let's actually check that out. Oh, I need to switch my flask back around there. But if we just head to the southeast here, the zone exit should be pretty much right here. Looks like there's a wall in the way. Should just be able to run straight through here. Is it over here? There it is. Yeah, so pretty close. We just take this zone back into here, into the marketplace, and then we're going to search for the marketplace sewers in here. Now, while I'm in here, I'd also like to try and find the, there's a chest in here, remember? You might remember back to normal where we found a chest in this zone, and it's not marked out on the map, so we need to, I need to watch out for bleed effects there. But we need to keep an eye out for, there it is, the ornate chest. So it's not marked out on the map, but you will see it if you have your item labels showing. And we're getting this for the Fairgraves, the Fairgraves quest, which will reward us with a rare item of some description. So it's a potential way for us to find an upgrade. I'm pretty sure it's a piece of jewelry, so it's pretty worthwhile in doing, and it's something we can kind of just do while we're doing these other quests. So we'll soon take a trip back to Fairgraves to unload this item, so we don't have to carry it around in our inventory. Then when we get the other item, which is the plum from the Imperial Gardens hedge maze, we'll be able to take that back to him as well. Alright, so I've managed to find the sewers now. It's spawned just through this passage here, which is where the zone boss was. Now, in this zone, you of course want to be pretty careful of both these Chaos guys here, the Chaos Alchemists, and the Discharges as well, the Undying Grapplers, because both of those will do a lot of damage. The Undying Grapplers aren't too much of a problem if you sort of draw them away from their allies, or if you're stacking a lot of lightning resist, but the Chaos guys are pretty much always dangerous. If you stand in their Chaos fields, you will take a lot of damage. And I'm going to try and clear these guys out now because I've rounded everyone up on top of an Undying aura there. Right on top of this Chaos Alchemist, so hopefully I can kill him off. But as you can see, I'm taking quite a bit of damage. Able to sort of just leech through, but pretty risky. I probably wouldn't do this in hardcore, but there goes the actual rare there. So you can see that Chaos damage, the damage over time effect, and the explosion itself, very damaging. And kind of using all my flask to try and get through it. There we go. Alrighty, good stuff. And here's the bust. We can pretty much take this straight back to town now. We don't really need to do anything else in this zone, as long as you've gotten the this thing for Fairgraves. What's this thing called? The Decanter Spiritus. Then you're good to go. You can get the waypoint in there, and in fact I think I did get the waypoint in there, which is right next to the Catacombs zone entrance, but we don't really need to farm Catacombs in Cruel. That's more something we can do in Merciless. So you don't really need to get that waypoint too much. But let's go give this bust over, and we get our respec plus passive skill point. Pretty exciting stuff. Now, what are we up to? We're still heading up past here. We just grabbed this life here. Now, I seem to recall that we needed some extra intelligence last time, and I think we grabbed the intelligence node, perhaps. But otherwise, we might have We might have gotten some all stats somewhere. I seem to recall being a little bit low on intelligence, but the fact that we're heading up through the intelligence nodes themselves now is going to take care of that problem. So I'll probably just continue straight up through here. We don't really need resolute technique yet. We're still above 90%, and we're still doing really nicely. This bow here has accuracy on it, and I think we might have some accuracy, on a helmet there as well. So doing pretty well in that regard. And there's not a very special dagger there, so we'll get rid of that. But now what we want to do is start looking for a Piety / Lunaris run. We want to get our initial Piety run at least with a party, and we might even want to do some of the farming runs with a party for a while as well. So let's actually see if there is any parties available at the moment. This might be a bit tricky if there's no actual parties available. But 2 Piety, go, go, go. I think I'll Lunaris Temple 3. We'll jump in for this one. This might be a quick Piety kill there. So I'll take myself off D&D, and I'll ask for any fresh TPs. And hopefully we're able to grab one here. Looks like there's a few. Hopefully they haven't already killed. Saint Macabar has given it to us. Thanks, bro. Big shout out to Saint Macabar for the portal. And looks like we might just be in time for the Piety kill. Yeah, it looks like we're still just heading there, so we're right in the last zone. So we want to be pretty careful in here when you're running with the group. If you're clearing through Lunaris 2 and Lunaris 3, you want to just hang with your group, because a lot of the righteous fire damage and a lot of the damage types in here are pretty dangerous. But as long as your resists are doing okay, we currently have 49 lightning resist, which is a little bit low, cold resist 62, and fire is 75, which are both quite good for this. Lightning damage, the primary form of lightning damage that is going to kill you, and I don't know what Sandpick just died to, but the primary form of lightning damage is going to be Spine Crack, the unique boss in this Lunaris 3 zone here. She hits super hard. However, Piety herself also does lightning damage, but it's pretty easy to avoid for the most part, as long as you watch out for those lightning storms and it dodges the majority of the damage coming in from those giant lightning balls, then you're going to be okay. But 49% should get us through the Piety fight itself, but Spine Crack is going to be quite dangerous. But I would recommend capping fire. If anything, I'd cap fire, because the righteous fire mobs deal a ton of damage in here, so you want to try and deal with that pretty well. And you're also getting the Tentacle Mist creations, which deal a lot of fire and physical damage as well. So capping that out, I think, is the priority. Then probably lightning, then probably cold. But I think we'll make it through with our current resist. We're also doing pretty well in terms of life as well. Autobots rolled out. So here we have the actual party fight. As I've said, make sure just to pay attention to avoid the majority of the lightning damage. With a party, it's pretty easy to sort of, the fire form isn't attacking me, I can attack, run around if you need to. But with cap fire resist, fire form is usually not a big problem. As long as you don't eat the majority of that lightning damage and don't stand still in front of her in the ice form. We can try and kill off these ice form ones as well. That our party will generally appreciate that. We want to stay out of those lightning storms there. And where is she now? Alright, looks like she's in ice form, so we're just going to duck behind this pylon for now. And she should be out of ice form now, so we can go back to killing. It's not a too hard fight with the party. Just be aware of this is the first time you've played in a party. I'm going to kind of run circles around her. There we go. There's a pylon I can stand behind. If this is your sort of first times playing with a party here, if you've been progressing solo up to this point, get used to a sort of a different tempo. There's a lot going on screen when you're playing in a party, and all of a sudden having all this extra stuff going on can lead you to kind of not pay attention to the actual sources of incoming damage. It's pretty easy to see when mobs attack you and just to avoid all sources of damage when you're playing by yourself, but in a party, you're going to be relying on other people a lot of the time, so it can be hard to actually pay attention to these forms of damage. So you want to be paying attention to when you're actually getting attacked, or when a big lightning ball is coming down, or a lightning storm is coming down, or all these sorts of things. So yeah, just be a little bit careful with it until you actually get used to sort of playing in a party. It is quite different, so there's a lightning storm. I want to watch out for that. But otherwise, we'll just try and keep up our sustained damage as much as possible. I'll just be using Frenzy. Our Frenzy single target DPS is now pretty good. Party overall seems to be doing okay. I think some people are dying, but that's okay. Alright, looks like we're getting pretty close. I'm assuming someone in this party, probably one of the flame totem people there, will have coal on one of their flame totems, but maybe not actually. She's getting hit, but she's not getting cold. There she goes. There's the coal. Unfortunately, no drops for us this time. Oh, looks like it's on short allocation though, so have at it. Everyone have at it. Looks like I didn't get anything anyway. Stuff's just getting flipped around. But that's the kill. Make sure you grab the tower key. We do want to do that. What I'll do now is I'll head back to town. We'll grab our passive points for this now that we have the key. And we'll just thank the party. Thanks for the run. And what you can do now is, this party might be continuing to do piety runs, so you could easily ask them if they're continuing and continue playing with them. Otherwise, you could simply find another piety farming party, or you could even form your own. To do that, you simply sit in here and you go create party. You type in, piety runs, piety farming runs, something like that, and then just start running yourself, and people will join, drop them TPs when they join, and that sort of thing. So, for the most part though, I think I'm going to try and run it solo and see how I go. I'm going to be able to kill piety faster solo than with a group, I think, and I think we'll be okay. Some of the stuff can kill us, but as I said, you're kind of gonna die sometimes in a party just to things that you're not quite seeing very clearly. So I'm more confident a lot of the time playing solo, so we'll give that a go. But for now, let's sell this stuff. We'll have this sword turned out. Yeah, that's not very good, so we'll get rid of that. And now I think we'll talk to everyone here, and we get to go over to, I think it's Grigor gives us our passive points. So 2 more passive points for killing piety. Always super satisfying to get that quest reward. There's the 2 passive points. Now, what can we get with this? Probably still just getting intelligence, though, to be honest. But looks like we actually get to come up through here and start grabbing some life nodes. So I'll grab this life node and holy strength there as well. And I think what we'll do is go back to Fairgraves to hand in this Decanter Spiritus to give us some more room, because party farming is going to give us a fair bit of loot. So we can just jump into docks here. I actually didn't get the waypoint, so I'm going to have to join another party. Because we jumped in at Lunaris 3, I don't have the waypoint for there, so I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to either get that, probably join a party to get that, I think, will probably be the best approach. But we'll kill off this stuff and then I'll head back. Alright, looks like this guy's in Lunaris Temple 1. We'll join him to reach Lunaris Temple 2. So I'll take myself off D&D again. I'll come to waypoint. Alright, so with this party I've reached the entrance to Lunaris 2 there. There's Cole. We do want to be super careful of Cole. He is definitely one-shot material, so we can just go ahead and avoid him. I don't know if this guy's going to stop and fight Cole. He's pretty game if he's going to do that. We'll just keep an eye on their health and see how they go. But what are they actually doing? Are you fighting? No, there they go. They got killed by Cole. So yeah, be careful of Cole. Cole will kill you very quickly, as you just saw there. I guess that particular player didn't quite know the risks of Cole there. Was just attempting to stop and fight. But we definitely want to just straight up kill those guys. I'll put up a portal, and they can jump in through that. But what we want to do is just go through to this zone to grab the waypoint. You'll want to do this if you want to farm piety. It's the best spot to start from, especially if you're going to be doing it solo. So despite my earlier, ramblings about playing in a party and things like that, I do highly recommend you guys playing in a party. It is much safer overall, even if it is slower at times, especially while doing sort of progression with parties. It can be a lot slower. It is a ton safer, and you might not even be able to sort of safe to properly do Lunaris runs yourself. Even though you might be able to kill piety pretty well, you might not be able to do the Lunaris runs very safely or very effectively. So running with a party is going to be much better for you overall. And I at least recommend doing quite a few runs with a party first, and then maybe doing solo a bit for the last few runs before you progress and do Dominus. Alright, so we've found the waypoint, and that's it for me. That's it for me. I'll go back now and join my own one. So they're going to continue on to party. I'm gonna run solo and sort of just see how my character's going solo. I'll at least test it out. Some of you guys might be wondering about General Gravitius, like, why haven't we done him? This quest is before this quest. However, General Gravitius takes a lot of effort to kill. He's very dangerous, he does a lot of fire damage, and he has a huge amount of ES and life, especially if you try and do him with a party. He can just take forever to kill. And the rewards are really not that impressive, so generally I just skip the General. Generally I skip the General. Anyway, let's continue on and I'll do some more party runs. Hopefully we'll get some sweet uniques and some other sweet upgrades and stuff like that, so that in the next episode we can go kill Dominus. But we'll see how we go. Oh, looks like we've started to have Hallowed Life Flask drop, which is the next tier of Life Flask. Level 53. This is a level, let's double check here, level 51 zone in here. So if we kill a rare in here, we can have these guys drop. So there we go. I might start saving those up for when I actually become level 53, which after a few Lunaris runs, because although I said, we're mostly doing this for loot from Piety, we're actually getting really good experience in Lunaris 2 and Lunaris 3 as well. So running those, sort of clearing out the larger packs like these guys here, just sort of using your AoE skills to clear these guys out, is going to give you quite a few levels as well, which is going to be pretty good moving forwards. I'm thinking to go forwards through Dominus. We kind of want to get like level 55. I've seen like in hardcore, you know, waiting until level 60 or so even to do Dominus, but I think maybe we'll be able to do it at level 5. I'll reevaluate that a bit depending on how much loot we get from doing Piety runs. So when we get to Lunaris 3, we do want to, of course, restart a new one because it looks like someone's still in this instance, I don't know why, but the old instances from running with a party and stuff like that might be there as well. So we want to create a new instance each time. Now, in other boss farming ones, we've been able to sort of like put a portal up here and then use a waypoint to get back to the portal. However, that's not going to work for this one. The only way you can leave a portal here and use this portal to refresh Lunaris 2, go back into Lunaris 2 to refresh Lunaris 3, is if you're running with a larger party, like one person can leave their portal up and keep it there, and the rest of the party can use that to refresh. However, that unfortunately does not work for us, so what we do instead is we take the Lunaris 2 waypoint, and you can even respawn the waypoint a few times, because sometimes the waypoint will spawn right next to the exit, basically 1 or 2 rooms away from the exit. But otherwise you just run Lunaris 2 a bit, get some extra XP in there, and then refresh your Lunaris 3 zone to run Piety herself. You have to refresh Lunaris 3 to be able to do Piety. So let's grab this level. Let's check this out. Looks like we're getting Holy Strength now. I'll probably actually, before I continue, I think we're going to continue heading up to Static Blows, because we'll get Purity of Flesh on the way there as well, which is going to be really nice. We're going to get some extra Chaos Resist, and we'll get some extra life, of course. Really big life note, 18% is pretty huge. So let's run Lunaris 3. Now the way I think I've covered this sort of before, but the way I like to run Lunaris 3 is just to try and stick to the outermost run that I can. So when I'm in here, as soon as I clear out this massive group here, wow. I would take the time to cast Projectile Weakness, but I think my Life Leech is the only thing keeping me alive at the moment, so I'll keep casting until these things are dead. Okay, cool. So we're relying on our Life Leech pretty heavily at the moment, but what we'll do is whenever I'll just run along the outside here, whenever I see a path that sort of leads outwards a little bit, I'll take that where I can, so it looks like this might be it here. And that'll lead us eventually out to the upper levels and eventually to Piety. However, I'm going to have to be pretty cautious here because I'm still pretty low level for this zone. Level 52 zone, I'm level 51. It's a very tough zone and I'm taking a lot of damage from a lot of these guys, so I'm going to have to be a little bit cautious for these first few runs especially. Oh, unique item, Holy Chainmail. That's a Vol's Protector, I think it's called. So check it out, I think it's like a power charge one, Vol's Protector. Gain a power charge for each enemy hit with a critical strike. Pretty nice for builds that rely heavily on gaining power charges, but otherwise pretty niche. I think I've managed to get a 6 socket as well, though that's probably not going to be too useful for us. Pretty low level one as well, so we'll just sell that for Jeweler's Orbs. Anything else nice here? We've got a life with 2 resist, pair of boots, not terrible, but probably not too useful. We've got some Chaos Resist, Move Speed. Wow, Life Boots. Those are actually pretty good. 20% Move Speed, Chaos Resist, and 73 Life. They're actually really quite nice. So I'll definitely keep those aside. How's this one looking? Some fire damage, nothing really special on that. So anyway, I'll continue running to Piety. This is just still the first Piety run. Oh, there's Spine Crack. I'm going to kill off the ads and then eat a hit from Spine Crack. You guys have been requesting that I test you know, sources of damage for you guys, just to show how hard they hit. And, well, I'll do this here, I will oblige. I didn't oblige with the Vile Smash, but I'll try and do that where I can. I'll try and show these things off where I can. However, I need to kill off the ads without killing her, because although Spine Crack does a lot of damage herself, she doesn't actually have much life, so she can kill her pretty quickly. Let's just kill off these guys and we should get rid of most of them. Should be able to keep her alive. Okay, there's the ads, and she's still alive. So there's 1 hit, there's 2 hits, there's 3 hits. Pretty nasty, pretty nasty. We can sort of survive it though. If you do happen to get shock stacked or crit pretty nastily though, that will do a lot of damage. So it's a source of damage. You know, I'm stacking a lot of life in this build and we have a decent amount of armor. Lightning Strike also deals physical damage, so that does help. And we have 49% lightning resist actually, not 75. So a bit lower than lightning resist, but pretty good on physical mitigation and a lot of life. And we can sort of tank a few hits from her. But as you can see, it's a pretty heavy hitting sort of one. So let's go ahead and kill her now. Maybe we'll get some uniques or something from her as well. Can I face tank through the damage? Not really, but anyway. Whoa, there's another axe. Let's rearrange some things here. Now, as a general rule for increasing your survivability when fighting packs in here, something I want to point out is stutter stepping between your attacks, so basically attacking, taking a step sort of off to the left or right and back a little bit, is going to cause you to be able to avoid a lot of the damage in this zone. Let's get one of these tentacle miscreations to fire, and I'll show you exactly why. Once they start firing, they continue firing in that same spot. So if you're constantly taking like a step to the right, you know, step to the left, step to the right, as you're firing. So in between each one of these, I'm going to be firing. I ate a whole volley there. That's not so good. I was trapped in a little corridor. But as you keep firing, you just sort of take a little step to the right or left. You're going to be avoiding a lot of the damage from those tentacle miscreations, and taking a step slightly backwards causes all of these melee mobs. So that's like the righteous fire ones, the lightning ones, the cold ones. They all sort of bunch up on each other and just sort of follow after you. So we can essentially aggro a pack like this and sort of just keep moving like this. And for the most part, none of them will actually ever really hit you. And you can avoid a ton of the damage in this zone by here, instead of just standing and sort of face tanking. As long as you keep moving sort of side to side like that, you're missing most of those projectiles and most of the melee attacks as well. So that'll probably help you guys out a lot if you find you're dying a lot to these sort of basic mobs in this zone. Alrighty, there's her leaving ice form, and this should be Piety kill number 2. First one with the Piety, we didn't really get anything. Oh man, don't die to the lightning ball. Oh, a quiver and a gold amulet. Quiver could be quite good. The gold amulet could be okay. The wand and the bladed mask aren't going to be any good for us. Anything else in here in the blues department? That's probably, nah, probably not. But let's check out the quiver and the amulet. I'm excited to see what they are. But I do need to get some wisdom scrolls, so let's actually see what we have to trade for those. I'm pretty low on the old different crafting materials I can trade for wisdom scrolls. I'm doing okay in terms of transmutation, so maybe we'll just trade some transmutes for wisdoms at the moment. No. That's a 1 to 4 as well, so we get 8 just there. Let's check these guys out. It's got life and nothing else, and the life roll is terrible. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. What about this one here? 9 to 22 fire is a pretty high roll. Increased lightning damage certainly doesn't hurt. 10% all resist, life gain on kill, and 11 life. It's a shame that life roll is so low. That's such a low life roll, because it's actually got a pretty good damage roll, and lightning damage actually helps us out quite a bit, because 50% of our fizz is converted to lightning damage, so... Whoa, I don't know, maybe that's still worth wearing though, even though we lose a pretty substantial amount of life. How much life do we lose? About 200 or so life there, lost. But a little bit over 200 in fact. But gaining all resist is going to help us cap out our resist, which is probably worth it. This brings us up to 72, 72, and 59. Whereas before we had capped fire, but we kind of had over-capped fire with this as well. The fire was kind of not the big deal there. It was mostly just the life. But we're also getting extra damage, so that's pretty significant as well. Let's take a look at Frenzy. 518, 504. A little bit of a damage increase. Fire isn't the best damage type for us to get. We kind of want Fizz or Lightning mostly. But it's not a big deal at the moment. A bit of extra fire damage certainly doesn't hurt. And the All Resist probably tip it over the edge there, I think. The actual booster Lightning Arrow should be alright too, because of the increased lightning damage, although I have to admit strength does increase our damage a little bit as well, but 29 strength isn't a big deal. We actually go up over 200 DPS with our lightning arrow with this, so I think I'll go for it, especially alright, here's what pushes it over the edge for me. Not just the all resist, but the 19% rarity of items found. We are farming Piety overall, so maybe we'll find some extra, uniques or something like that with that extra rarity. So I'll go with the rarity necklace for now, but maybe we'll find something even better pretty soon. And it looks like none of these are any good either. The mace had potential, but the physical damage rolled way too low to be worth anything. So we can get rid of all these. And there's some alterations. Hold on a minute. I bet you guys want to see me tank a Coal Smash too. I reckon we can do it. I reckon we can not get one-shot by him. So let's check this out. Oh, that hits hard. You can see how if you're not a character stacking a ton of life, because this character has a lot of life right now, how you would be one-shot by that, and that's how our party member before was one-shot by Cole. Now, sure, we can kill Cole, because it is possible to avoid all of Cole's attacks, but the time taken to kill him is just totally not worth it for the actual amount of loot we get. He's not a boss himself, he's just a unique mob, so although he drops somewhat increased loot, it's nowhere near as much loot as like Merveil or Piety or Val or any of those. So I don't really think it's worth the risk. Even in softcore, where we're losing what 5% of our experience when we die, even then I don't think it's worth that 5%. The potential to lose 5% experience there. So I reckon just skip coal pretty much all the time. Wow, just got another unique. I'm getting all these uniques off normal mobs, and I haven't got anything off Piety yet. But we just managed to get Foxshide Wild Leather, which I think we're a little bit over-leveled for now, unfortunately. But this is a fantastic piece of gear for leveling any sort of ranged or bow character, or any sort of one that can use evasion armor. Really, it gives extra move speed. It gives a pretty hefty amount of evasion. And some extra evasion when you're on full life. It's pretty hard to take advantage of, but it's also got some damage on it. I'm particularly fond of this chest, but it's nowhere near good enough to actually use now, so just wanted to be one to stash. I also managed to find this coral ring here, which, it had so much potential. But it rolled like nothing on it. Accuracy, dex, mana, and a small amount of rarity. That's pretty terrible, but let's go do this next Piety kill, and hopefully we'll get some better loot from her. Alright, we should be able to get our third Piety kill in here. Oh, she's teleported. Oh, can we leech through the fire? We should be able to with those other mobs behind. Oh, taking lots of damage there, but there we go. Alright, what did we get? Oh, an alteration orb. Swords, staffs, maces. Nothing really too useful for us, unfortunately. But we have gotten some cool items on the way here, though. I'm pretty excited about that. Let's grab this steelhead, though. Well, at least got some more crafting material. Alrighty, looks like Piety kill number 4 is on its way. Here we go. Come on. Oh, what do we get? Some shields, claws, wands. Oh, man. Probably nothing really good for us there. How are our gloves going? Our gloves are in need of an upgrade. They have those resists and damage, like, even though it's got low lives. I want to upgrade these gloves, but it's been pretty hard to do. Is there anything else here? We could probably check the ring, I suppose. Could roll well. What are our current rings like? Yeah, we could potentially get a better ring than that, so we should identify things like that. There's a hallowed manifest. We don't need those. Doesn't look like there's anything else winning at the moment. So that's 4 runs. Let's head back to town and see what we've got so far. So far, the only upgrade we've got from Piety herself has been the gold amulet. We've managed to obtain a few uniques along the runs, and let's check out this guy. Leech does mana, no good here. I guess all of these will probably just be sales as well. Nothing too stand out-ish. Nothing too insane from there. So I'll probably do a few more Piety runs, though I might do those at the start of the next episode, because I'm actually pretty much pushing my time limit for today. But in the next episode, we'll do some more Piety runs. We'll probably get to like maybe level 54, level 55. Then we'll do some progression and sort of feel out how we're going through Imperial Gardens. The newer zones of Act 3 that were added in patch 1.0.0 are still sort of somewhat unfamiliar territory to me. I've done them a few times, but I haven't felt out the progression as much as I have through all of these other zones. Like, through all the other zones, I kind of know what level I need to be, what sort of milestones I need to reach. But this is still something I want to discover a bit, so we'll do a little bit of progression next episode and see how it goes. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.